coming up on International Trade Focus. We'll take a look at the handicraft business, its prospects and its benefits. Artisans and handicraftsmen in Ghana are potentially enormous contributors to the country's economy. However, they've gained little or no recognition in the sight of successive governments. On International Trade Focus today, we delve into the important role that the arts and crafts sector plays in job creation and generation of revenue for the country. Hello, with me here is Robert Daboya. He is the president of the National Association of Handicraft Exporters, Ghana, and also the national rep for Novika. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
This portrait is beautiful. What is it made of? Is this cement?
No. This is made from sea sand mixed with glue. One of my artisans brought it to me. I was here and he just brought it. I think he picked a picture from, it's my profile picture on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook.
So he just surprised me with
it. You're a Facebook friend to me.
Well, but I'm not a Facebook fan anyway. I visit there from time to time. It's not something that I do every day.
This is lovely. We are adorned here today with so much art and it's beautiful. So tell us about Novika.
I myself, I heard about Novika around 2002, and I joined them 2007. And it was when I joined Novika that I got to know who the whole Novika is about. Novika is a company, it's a multinational company that was started by some brilliant guys. The founder called Robert Milk, a Mexican, and his godmother called Armenia. He's also a Mexican. And they just got the idea of promoting these crafts for the poor artisans who are hiding somewhere, to expose them to the world, So they got this idea and came up with the network to do it. And this was in 1999. But it got started fully around July 1999. That is how
when it started operating in Ghana.
Yes, at that time, Ghana was the first countries that they started with. And basically, what we do, their mantra is to spread happiness. And by spreading happiness, what they mean is they want to satisfy the artisan, to make the artisan happy, and to make the customer too happy, And how do they make them happy? The artisan is somebody who even doesn't know his worth. Some of them are talented, so they can play with natural products and create some things, which they just do it for fun or for recreational purposes. And those are the kind of people that Novika tries to bring up and expose them to the world by selling their products on the internet. And by empowering the artisans, they give the artisan the exposure. When Novika is selling your products, they will write about you. They have your picture and they have your bio, how you came to do a profile of yourself. Okay. So that the customer buying the products enjoys the person who did it. They can imagine how the person formed the whole piece. So it gives some joy to the customers as well.
So specifically, what are some of the products that Novika sells? Mainly paintings. Does it include Kente?
Everything made by hand. Novika wants to expose the talents of people. So anything made by hand, crafted by hand, Novika will sell. So from wood carvings, kente, baskets, dresses, anything that at least creativity in any form.
And depicts our African
culture. That is one good aspect of Novika. They want to preserve the culture by letting people, creating the awareness of the value of these things to the world. So you would just be crafting your piece, you wouldn't know the value until maybe they put it on the market and you start earning some money from it. That is where you will see that you have a job that you didn't know about.
So how does an artisan sign on to Novika?
Through referrals, and we also do aggressive searching for the artisans. And when they come, we encourage them to bring just about 6-8 pieces, different pieces of the product that you want to show us. So they bring the items, and we look at the quality of it, we discuss the pricing with them. Then we write a report about them to the head office. And when we get the approval of it, then we start listing the product. That is where we design a form to get information about you, to get a profile, something like a biography about you. That will sell your product for the customer to know who he's buying from. Then we will employ you to give us some information about the product, because we always want to tell stories about the things that we sell, because most of our customers will want to know why this is this, why that is that. Even the name, if you give a name to the product, some of the producers, some of the customers will want to know the meanings of why that name, and they are all gimmicks that sell the product. So after getting approval and we sign you on, we ask you to bring just a few items. We don't want to put stress on you. So about 4 of each products. You bring it here, then we keep them in our inventory. But we take a very beautiful picture of the item to display on the internet, because that is what is going to sell. The customers go to the sites, they browse through and they pick the products that they want, and they place the orders, and we sell the product from there.
So, and Novika obviously is thriving, or let's say facilitating the handicraft industry in Ghana.
Exactly so.
I believe that you've been in this business for a while now. Do you remember how far Ghana has come in terms of handicrafts exports, handicrafts production, and the likes?
Well, I wouldn't say where Ghana has come. It's where maybe the sector, the help that the sector has given to those in the handicraft business. It has created a lot of employment for a whole lot of people. In 1994-95 thereabout, the Ghana Export Promotion Council, through their marketing promotion search, got a buyer, P1 Imports, who placed the first biggest order. That was about $1.350 million worth of products. And this order was given to about 23 different producers. And you could imagine the kind of employment that it gave to these people. At that time, the production of handicraft was going down very well. But when they got this order, it rejuvenated the craft centers. So though the exporters were in Accra, they had to go as far as to Kumasi, and the Bolga baskets. Those who got orders for Bolga baskets had to go to Bolga, and it put everybody busy around for the 4 or 5 months that we did that order, So it at least gave a lot of employment to people, So the handicraft sector is one area that, if I can't remember. The government, can look at it. It's a sector that can give employment to a lot of our youth. So it's helping a great deal.
So it's viable.
Very, very viable, I would say. But even the tourists, when the tourists come around, they will always want to take something along with them to tell them they have visited Ghana. I don't think they want to take our money, or they can't get the treasured gold, but they want to get something handy, some little small thing made by hand. And it's this handicraft producers who supplies them. They come, they buy our flag. It's handmade. Some buy some of our fabrics, handmade. Then the wood carvings, So it's helping a great deal. And it's a sector that I think the tourism ministry will have to look at, apart from preparing the product for export. Even it will help with the tourist industry. We don't have many sites, but if you go to some countries, going to see the producers alone, give some people some joy. The way they fashion out products from blocks of wood alone, they do demonstrations to the tourists and they become very excited. Well, here it's like...
I think the joy is for these tourists to see how some of these some things, sentimental, emotions or whatever towards some of these products. So let's talk about exporting of these handicrafts. What is the difference between something that will be sold locally and something that will be exported? Are there standards that have to be met if you're trying to export your products?
Well, it's the same product that are sold to the locals that are exported. But when we identify a product for export, one has to do a little bit more to it because of the fact that the product is going to a different environment, where they are strict on certain things. Even sometimes the finishing, the kind of paint used on the item has to be known because it can be toxic and it may affect the environment there or the people who are going to use it. So when the product becomes an exportable product, it has to meet certain standards. There are some standards that it has to meet. It can be picked from the market, but if an order is given for it, then one will have to think along satisfying certain, regulations.
So when it comes to exports of anything, my major interest or my interest area is to know the demand for that product. So would you say that there's demand for Ghana's handicrafts on the international front?
I will simply say that the demand for our products is insatiable. We can't satisfy the demand for our products, but we are not seeing it because maybe we are not well prepared or we haven't sat down to take advantage of it. It's unfortunate that you get one buyer here and everybody scrambles to get something, an order from the buyer, and we end up messing the whole thing because a buyer comes and because we don't have any structured organization to take care of the exports, we allow everybody to come and get an order. So you have exporters there, you have traders, you have producers, and some people will even take advantage of the fact that, hey, I hear there's a buyer here, somebody who sells cassava will run to the market, get a piece and come and show to the buyer, And if such a person comes, he wouldn't know what it entails in doing the skill. Exactly. So even the price that you will give the buyer may not be the right price. And the buyer, being a business person, will want to buy cheap. So if you are not lucky and the buyer talks to a producer who just knows how to carve or how to produce the thing but doesn't know how to market it, he will definitely mention a lower price. And you, the exporter, who knows what it entails before the product gets to the buyer, if you're not lucky, you just call a price that will be twice the price that the first person called. And the buyer will not understand, So there will be a conflict. Anytime the buyer comes, he wants to buy it at the lower price. If I should tell you a story, when we started shipping in volumes, this was 94, 95, my buyer bought a drum, a djembe drum, for $30 FOB, that free on board. Some years later, about 4 or 5 years later, the same size of drum, same quality, same everything, was selling at $20. And even now, I'm very sure it will be less than 20. Why should it be so? It's because we allow non-exporters to come and scramble for orders. And they get the orders, and finally they are not able to do it.
International Trade Focus continues after this break. Stay tuned. So you being the president of the Association of Handicraft Exporters, what measures are you going to put in place to make sure that the industry reaches its full potential, and even also make sure that some of these passerbys are not able to intrude into the market?
Well, that's an interesting question. I'm afraid my term may not end because I know I'm going to trample on the foot of so many people. I have a plan to uplift the industry. I feel we have to have a proper structure in the industry for everybody to enjoy, to take advantage of the whole thing. So I'm going to structure the whole thing properly. By saying this, I will say, what is business all about? It's buy and sell. And how can you buy? You should have the product to buy. You can't just go to the market and say, I have money in my pocket and I'm looking for something to buy. The product has to be there. And who can give us the product? It's the producers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strengthen the production base of all the products, and I will ensure that the producers remain producers and allow the exporters to do the exports. By saying this, I'm not saying no producer can export at all, but they will have to learn to understand that you have to produce and graduate to be an exporter. So if they are able to understand this simple fact, I'm very sure the sector will have a long way to go. Everybody will enjoy the pie of the order that will come. So I'm going to put some structures in place, and we are going to work in consonance with the producer. They are going to be a backbone. Without them, we can't do the exports, but they will have to remain there to be producers and graduate to become exporters at a later time. And I'm sure I'm going to have problems, but I will try. If it doesn't work,
if it's for the better good.
Yeah, if they don't understand me, I may have to back out. Because I had the opportunity, and I gave the opportunity to everybody. I felt that since I was working with the Export Promotion Council at that time, it wasn't authority, and our mandate was to encourage export. So with my little mind, I was saying that it wouldn't be fair to deprive anybody who wants to export the opportunity to get orders. So when I had the opportunity to make people get orders, I was allowing everybody to come. But later on, I realized it was a mistake, because it helped to make the buyers take advantage of us. I've mentioned it before. Something that they will have to pay $10 for, because somebody has given the price $7, $6. The next time the buyer comes, he wants to buy it at $6.
So proper structures have to be put in place.
Exactly.
So that you all get a united voice.
Exactly.
For $30.
It's a strong advocacy, so that when we talk, people understand where we're coming from. And even if we want to make a presentation to the government, sometimes it's difficult because we have so many fragmented organizations. They go with different needs, so it makes the listener confused. So finally, we don't get any audience at all. And if they have to do something, they will just give it to a few, and it doesn't trickle down well, But I want the association to be the pivot for the growth of the whole industry, because like I have said before, we can't have any exports without having a strong production base, So the intention is to develop the production base in all the regions. We identify the products that they have the strength and help them develop it more.
So the producers that Novica sort of works with, they can be found across the 10 regions of Ghana? Or
yeah. Because some of them, even we have a few who are not producers, But for Novica's work line is completely different, slightly different from the export, wanting to produce in bulk and shipping yourself. Novica, it's a wonderful company that is so good for anybody who produces crafts, because they don't demand so much from you. If you can produce 5 a day, you are okay. We don't put too much pressure on you. So the things that Novica sell are very excellent. The quality is there because you are not compelled to mass produce. And anybody at all, so long as you are producing crafts, you can join Novica. And you will be better off than even somebody doing exports. Because for Novica here, so long as soon as we approve your products, then you have a business. You just produce the product, you bring it here, we inspect it, and if it meets the quality standard, you just leave it and go. And the next time you hear, we have called you to come for your check, And we don't take commission from the price that we agree on, and we don't also force you to give us a lower price. What we do is Novica will guide you to give a reasonable price. If you insist, we maintain the product at that price, but if you are not lucky, it will stay for long because the price will be so high for the customers, So if you bring your products, if you are dealing with Novica and you are serious, you have an employment. We have a host of them who are depending on Novica for their livelihood.
So let's come to the Association of Handicraft Exporters. How do you assist handicraftsmen to export their products?
Well, we give them the guidelines. We have the export school that's organized by the Ghana Export Promotion Council. At least they take you through the rudiments of exporting. So before, that is why I'm saying that I want members of the association to be exporters who understand what goes into exports. So we give them the guidelines, the Export Promotion Council, the Export Promotion Authority. That is why they are there. Any problems you go there and they will guide you to do the proper thing. So we work under them. Any problem that we have, we tell them, or if we see that there's something that is not going the right way, we have the tractate with them and steer it to the proper.
So, how much? Do you have an idea of the quantity of products that you export, handicrafts that you export? Yay, monkey.
For me, sitting here now, that would be a very difficult question for me to answer. But Novika, I can see that even here, our sales are seasonal. During the occasions, we sell more. Christmas, we sell a lot of items. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Easter, those occasions, we do promotions. So we sell a lot. But for the handicraft sector in general, I wouldn't want to play with figures because I haven't done that homework. If one wants to get these figures, then maybe the customs will be the right place to go. And the Ghana Export Promotion Authority can also have the figures. Even there, I wouldn't say you'll get everything. It will be an estimated figures.
Let's talk about the benefits to the nation and its citizens.
The benefits. What does the government want? Foreign exchange. And handicraft is one of the non-traditional products, that it's not so difficult to make. If we get the right, the politicians have the right, if they create the right environment, the right environment for it, handicraft is one of the sectors that can, bring a lot of foreign exchange to the nation. Putting the foreign exchange aside, the employment, you have a lot of young guys who are now trooping into Accra to find jobs that are not there, And most of these guys are producers who are talented. They have the gifts, but they don't know. Most of them don't even know that they have this kind of gifts, So I remember in my hometown during the old days, we had this guy there, Kobe or something. He could produce elephants from Tonton, I've forgotten them, the raffia, and he could carve a lot of things. And he would just do it and leave it in the house for nothing. And we have a lot of such people in our villages. And those are the kind of people that Novika is looking for. And those are the kind of people that if we are able to identify them, we can group them, encourage them, and let them know that their products have markets. And that is why I was saying that I have the plans to collaborate with the Ministry of Tourism and develop some of these production villages in some of the regions. We identify a product with this village and we will encourage them and make sure that we set up a small workshop there in order to keep them there and sell their product out for them. Novika is one outlet that can sell any product at all, no matter the size of the producer. So the sector has the potential of, getting market for a lot of people. At one time, there was this man at Winneba who was producing a potter, Mr. Ekem. He was producing some components that the electricity company was using. They were passing the cables and it, hanging it on the poles. He was producing and manufacturing it for them. So a lot of advantages are in the sector that we can explore. And that is exactly what we are planning to do.
So what are some of the measures that you think, when put in place, would help facilities or even make this sector even better? Now?
Well, I have been talking about getting a solid production base, and that's the essence of it. In the next 3 weeks or so, my executives are going to visit the regions. we are going to have a program with the Export Promotion Authority and visit the regions, and the products that we know, the existing products, we will visit them to know how far production or organization of those sectors are, and try to unearth some more products and encourage the GEPA to set up at least a small production villages for them. If we start from there, the people will know that, hey, I think there's something that is cooking. If I get involved, I may get something to it. And having Novika here is one advantage. The first sale point will be Novika for them before we even think of the exports. We do that gradually, and then they will develop the sector in order to build a solid production base. After that, we can look at the export market. We are still looking at the export market because we have some producers in town who are producing. But because it's like the interest is not there. So most of them have become disgruntled. They've left the carving business, driving taxis and Uber, and some have turned into land guards and having problems. I wouldn't want to say that the spirit of this armed robbery, I don't know if some of them have even gotten involved. No, I wouldn't say that. So we need to develop the sector, and that is exactly what I want to do. This year has been earmarked for that. I'm not looking at the export very much this year. I know some people will not agree with me, but I feel that we need to have a solid production base before we look out for the market. The export will be going in any way, but the concentration will be on setting up production bases in the regions.
I think we're wrapping up, but before we go, do you have any final words for us before we?
Any final words? Well, we are praying that the government can give us some ears, not only listening, but giving us some support. By all means, when we knock the door and we enter, they will give us seats to sit on. They will listen and maybe give us some tea. But we wouldn't want it to end there. We want to see them actually encouraging us, so that we can also assist the producers to bring up the program that we have in mind.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dabo. It's been an insightful conversation. Thank you for your time.
You are most welcome.
International Trade Focus continues after this break. Stay tuned. Ghana's Handicraft Outlook presents a unique craftsmanship which complements Africa in its entirety. We believe the prospect for growth as an industry is promising once it's allotted the promotional attention it requires. My name is Anaspio. Thank you so much for your company.